Hello, my name is Brad McKinnon and I'm the Communications Coordinator here at beautiful Our Lady of Guadalupe Parish in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. And I'm here with a couple of friends of mine, John Lipton and Norm O'Leary, who are here to talk to you about a program that we're sponsoring called Grab and Go. Norm, why don't you tell us a little bit about this program and how we got started?
Yeah, well, about 6 years ago, my daughter is a math professional. She's a coach, and she goes from school to school. And she mentioned that she was at Harborview in the north end of Dartmouth, and she knew what I did. I do an awful lot of outreach programs. And she said, "Dad, you got to help them out because this school's in need of food." And the statistics, and I won't get into it, but I'll just mention it now, 1 in 5 in Nova Scotia that go to school hungry, and I believe this school is like 5 out of 5. They're very desperate for food. So we decided with the group that I was with that we would start supporting them. So I got in touch with the principal, Kim LeBlanc, a great lady, and she told me the things that they needed. So we tried to get them, and every month I took the food and whatever else, any money that we got, I converted into food, and we took it to them.
So John, you're a retired school teacher. You've been in the school for years. How important is it that young people have the food that they need in order to learn in a classroom?
Well, it's imperative because invariably I can think of situations where when students may be acting up or whatever, the first thing I remember doing was not to reprimand them in front of their peers, especially junior high, was to take them out in the hall and ask them, how are things? Did you have a breakfast? Number one. Sometimes it was no. How are things on the home front? Is everything well in that capacity? So what you learn is something that's going on in their lives in terms of nutrition, in terms of emotional adjustment, stress, peer pressure. But I think the same thing is about what Norm is saying, how we back schools, but Norm's the go person. But I know being at South Academy, seeing these kids coming in before COVID, pre-COVID, was really an eye-opener because there's 50 to 60 kids come through that door, and you get to know them over a period of time, and you get to know some of the staff that come and help these kids receive nutrition. And I really do believe in a lot of cases, these kids come to school for 2 reasons. One is the breakfast program, but the behind the scene, I believe, is some of them, it's more comfortable to be at school than it is at home for whatever reason. So whatever the environment is at home may not be conducive.
So Norm, you talked about food security and how 1 in 5 Nova Scotians don't have food security. We heard a lot about that in our last election campaign. Do you want to talk a little bit more about this real major issue that many young people face?
Yeah, the North End Dartmouth Community Center, John and I were involved with that for a few times. We took some tea and coffee up to them. We got to know the area quite well. I know the statistics show that there's 19,000 people that live in that area that are under $20,000 a year. And if you think that rent costs them $1,000 a month, where do they get the rest of the money to eat? In Nova Scotia, the 1 in 5, that's the worst in Canada. And we know that the schools, the 2 we're talking about, Harborview and the other one, Dartmouth South Academy, they're in 2 of the poorest areas in Dartmouth, in the Halifax region, and we provide what we can to them. Each school is different. Each school requires different food items, and Kim LeBlanc would pass that on to me, what they needed.
So what are some of the items that we could get you? Some of the ways that we can support this project? Because I don't know about anybody else, but I'm moved to kind of help in any way I could.
Well, the 2 fruit things that we get, and we get them, can I mention the store? We get them from Dave's because they're less expensive. The apples and oranges. Cheese strings the kids really like. And then you get into the bars, and the bars you have to have the red circle on them where no nuts, because the schools won't take them if they have no nuts in them. And that's basically the bars. You can get many different kinds. I recommend that people go to Costco. You get double your money's worth there. And you can't get some of the other ones at any of the other stores but Costco. That's my experience. We stay away from things like bananas and that because they just don't stay. You've got to make sure that the food items stay. Each school is different. They will ask you for different items. So you make sure you get what they want, not what you want to give them.
John, Norm, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for all the work that you're doing in our community. And if you would like to support this project, OurLadyGuadalupe.ca, and click on the Grab and Go button, and you can learn more about this project. You can find a way to donate items physically or financially support this project. Thank you for your time, and God bless.